How close can we get?
No, boom. You're perfect. You got tested, right?
I did.
And with a COVID-19 elbow bump, the interview with the vice president was on, but not before the White House medical unit had given me a rapid test for the virus. It came back negative, but the more pressing issue, will America hear some positive news soon about getting back to normal?
How confident are you that after April 30th, we may see some difference here in the economy and getting back to normal?
David, we're seeing real progress. We're going to be following the data very carefully, but if as some of the experts suggest, if we are nearing the peak of the coronavirus and if Americans continue to do what they've been doing now for weeks across the country, we believe we'd be in a very different place come the end of April, and we'll be able to bring forward recommendations.
It's clear the federal government lagged on testing early, mainly due to a bureaucratic process full of red tape. Pence says the model is now changing because the administration is getting the private sector more heavily involved.
We've developed all new testing format. Abbott Laboratories has a 15-minute test. I think you just took it, that we're working to make available all across the country. And but the reality was there were always many test kits out there, but the ability to process them rapidly was what the president addressed when we brought the full power of the private sector together. We're going to continue to scale and increase the amount of testing during this epidemic, but also create a foundation for a new modern rapid testing system for coronavirus and other diseases for years to come.
While the testing is getting better, people of faith still must follow guidelines, which means no in-person church services. Most have obeyed, and doors remain closed.
Our churches and synagogues and communities of faith across America have risen to the challenge.
But a handful of churches are still worshiping in person, a fact that Pence addresses biblically.
What's your message to those that are still holding services in the pews?
I would just remind as a brother in Christ that, you know, where two or more are gathered, there he is also. We're all making do, but we can still worship, we can still practice our faith and practice the really important social distancing that at this time in the life of our nation is just so important.
Also important, he says, giving to places of worship during this critical time.
Even if you're not in the pew on Sunday, that ministry is still going on. And so to the extent that you're able to continue to contribute to your local church, your local synagogue, your ministry, we encourage you to do that because those communities of faith are making such an immense difference.
Congress is trying to make a difference too by spending lots of money. So far, Pence likes what he sees.
It really has been a testament of Congress working at its best. The average family of four by this time next week will receive a direct payment of $3,400 to assist them during this time. But for small businesses around the country, we've literally enrolled thousands upon thousands of companies in the Paycheck Protection Program, which will allow small businesses to keep people on the payroll for 2 months.
Still, the squabbling continues.
Look, there'll be issues that will be debated in the days ahead.
Especially on nationwide mail-in balloting, something Democrats are pushing to get funded. Republicans say it's political.
Do you think the mail-in balloting, in terms of the funding that Democrats want, do you believe that is political in nature?
Well, I'd leave that to others, and that'll be an important debate in the days ahead. Our objective right now is to put the coronavirus in the past.
And as leader of the coronavirus task force, he believes there will indeed be light at the end of this very dark and tumultuous tunnel. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.